everybody, welcome to the channel and more Blood and Plunder here as we work towards the end of the French factions. Today we're actually looking at the French Royal Navy just because it is such a powerhouse right up there with the British Royal Navy, and there's a lot going on with the list. Obviously, being a Navy force, it's going to be more theme defining on the water. Certainly you can play any force on any of the three different ways to play, right? But these guys are obviously going to shine a little bit more when we're fighting ship to ship. So let's jump right in with the force special rules. There is a lot going on again in the list here. So first of all, we get the awesome +3 to the roll when determining the attacker in a scenario. So more often than not, we should win that roll unless we're coming up against another force with a bonus of some sort, right? But then here we get into some of the really good things. All trained and veteran units in this force just gain brawlers for free. Always great in a list where you're not paying any kind of points for just a blanket special rule. So a lot of these units, wouldn't necessarily have that rule all the time. So the fact that we just get it across the board is huge. Then we also get a once per turn, which is fantastic anytime we have that, right? Not a once per game, but once per turn. This force may re-roll the result of a critical or lucky hit against an enemy ship's rigging, so can be situational, but it's nice that we, again, get a free re-roll there. We're not spending other resources to get that re-roll, so that's great. Units of Marines may upgrade artillery crew special rule to expert artillery for +4. So again, we're paying a cost on that, but the fact is that we do get that upgrade path, which again, regular versus the expert is a good step up there. So may be worth considering for you there. And then finally, the ship's commander may spend 2 command points to issue either a reload or fire action to all units assigned to artillery with the expert artillery crew rule within command range. Note that the broadside rule will apply if the commander has it as well. So pretty potent little combo there, and kind of an emphasis, or an incentive rather, on getting as much of the expert artillery crew as possible in the list, just to really take full advantage of that, right? We are having to spend the 2 command points, so it's obviously something you got to keep in mind, but the fact that we can sort of mass reload for free, or not for free, but is huge, right? When we can do things efficiently and really take advantage of sort of, again, we always call it economy of actions, especially in a game like this where actions will be limited and we need to make sure that every action taken is useful. This is a great way to do that, and really can be frightening against other lists who don't have anything even remotely close to this as far as operating efficiently and letting the big guns do the talking, right? Now, the unit selection is fairly decent here, right? We get a couple of great core units and then some fantastic support units as well. So the Marines Basque, right? And then the Fusiliers. So we get some great sailors there. And again, the Marines are the ones that get the ability to upgrade to expert artillery, so we'll probably want to take some of those. Not 100% sure, somebody can correct me in the comments now. It says Marines specifically, it doesn't say Marines Basque, so I don't think the Marines Basque would get the opportunity to upgrade. But Fusiliers are fantastic, right? And then the support units, we got Caribbean Militia or the Canadian ones. But we get artillery men unaligned, Zeelieden and Enterplague from the Dutch, and also French Grenadiers, which also are top-notch. So we get all the makings of a very potent force with fantastic units essentially across the board. So really, it's just going to come down to your personal preferences. Some things are going to be better than others, right? It also depends on the size of the game that we're playing and the ship that we're on and so forth. Then finally, there's no force options here because that would certainly add even more layers to that. But we'll just round off here with the fact that we have command options, right? Our standard French commanders. So we got choices there, but then we got 2 special characters, which may be worth it depending on if we can afford them. We got René Duguay-Trouin and Henri-Louis de Chavagnac. So if we haven't already covered those, we will be at some point, so just stay tuned for those guys. But we got some potent options there. Again, French Navy is right up there with the British Navy. So it's just, how can we take maximum advantage of everything the force does? Again, we're going to be incentivized to take at least trained and vets to get brawlers for free. Why would we not want that, right? Especially if we're going to be doing some boarding. And then, the free reroll is great. We're going to be more likely than not the attacker in the scenario. But really, the biggest incentive here is, taking the Marines and ideally fitting in the points to get the expert artillery crew, and then just, again, absolutely brutalizing enemies with the commander's ability here with the expert artillery crew rules, and comboing with broadside if we can have that. So something to all keep in mind. Let us know, guys, if you have run the French Royal Navy. What size have you gone generic commanders or any of the named ones, and how has that success, or what level of success have you had essentially, and how does that compare against, again, like the British Royal Navy or any of the other sort of main nation navies out there? Hit us up in the comments, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.